Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. First of all, a very belated Happy New Year. Over Christmas, I hit 3,000 subscribers, which is just incredible. So thank you so much for that. I'm sorry I've not been around. I didn't intend to take this much of a break from YouTube, but this last year, man, has just been brutal. So as you know, if you watch me regularly, we lost our cat Coco last January. His brother Slinky just totally vanished without a trace in June. Towards the end of the year, I had an auntie who sadly passed away. I've got a close family member who's on palliative care, and so I've been doing as much as I can dealing with that. Then on Christmas Day, our cat Mono just collapsed and died in Mark's arms on our way to the vet. She was only 7. It was brutal. We had an episode with Slinky in February last year, and we did CPR on him and brought him back. We tried that again, but CPR just didn't work, and we don't know why she died. But yeah, that's been a lot. It's been a lot. She was very special as cats go. I mean, I love all my cats dearly, but she was the absolute best, and she just burned too brightly to burn for long enough. I wish we'd had longer with her. I must have 1,000 pictures of her, and I wish I had more, but there you go. Sorry. So yeah, sorry, I didn't intend to get tearful. Yeah, so I will be getting back to making videos. I can't promise a weekly upload at the moment. I'll do my best. But the first project I want to do is quite a simple one. For Christmas, my mum bought me this beautiful dragonfly mould. It's got so much embossing and faceting on it. It looks like it's a mixture of matte and shiny, so there are so many possibilities with this. But I'm leaning towards these chrome nail powders that I got bought, and I think if these are buffed in properly, they give like a chrome-like finish. Never used them. I've only used the nail powders that are kind of subtle colours, which can still look very vibrant with a black background. So I'm thinking black resin with this, multicoloured, maybe some of my other pigment powders, maybe a colour shifting pigment. I don't know, I'm really itching to play with these because they look beautiful. They're a little bit more vibrant coloured, which is more my thing than pastels. Not in this video, but I also, for Christmas, I got a new UV light. The one that I had before it did the job, but every UV resin project that I did just seemed to not work properly, and I just don't know whether the lamp wasn't the right wattage or what. I really don't know. Last year I actually bought some of the dichroic colour film from Wendy at Toompish, who kindly sent me a little inlay as well. So I want to play with those a lot. I've seen a lot of Daniel Cooper's videos. Evie's trying to break in. I've seen a lot of Daniel Cooper's videos with the dichroic film, and I really like the way that looks, and I want to experiment with that and see it with like a clear UV resin cabochon with that dichroic film on the back, and then also try it where you sand it so it looks like opal. So I'm hoping that I'll have more luck with my new UV lamp. Also for Christmas I got bought loads, and it's my birthday in January too, and I got bought loads of jewellery making stuff. So I've got loads more bails, I've got lots of earring making stuff, earring making stuff like the long pins. So I'm looking forward to making more earrings because it's not something I usually make a ton of. So that'll be great. I got some beautiful nail varnishes, which I tend to use on cabochons more than my nails, but that'll look really cool. So I've got quite a few things to be playing with. I also got given, a friend in the village towards the end of summer actually gave me boxes and boxes and boxes of shells all different sizes, and ever since then I've been itching to do like a little beach scene with some sand and some baby shells, maybe make some kind of bag charms that are like beachy themed. And the other thing that I really want to try and do quite soon is the larger beach scenes with the waves, with the foaming waves. That's something I've wanted to try for quite a few years and haven't done. I bought this lovely little sheep notebook for my birthday. I really like sheep. I've got hundreds and hundreds of sheep teddies and ornaments and stuff, so my sheep book is going to be for noting down video ideas, because it's not something I ever really sit and plan. I just do it quite organically, whatever I'm in the mood for making. The other thing I want to do more of is bass string jewellery. The wonderful people at Bass Brothers sent me a ton of used bass strings, so I'm going to go through and sterilise those and come up with some new ways of making jewellery with bass strings, because my guitar string jewellery is something that I do sell quite a lot of, so I want to do a bit more with the bass strings. They're a bit more limited because of how thick they are, but I'm looking forward to kind of experimenting with those and using them in those rings that have the little inlay space. So there's a few ideas of things I want to try to do. I'm not going to be able to put pressure on myself because I don't know what's going to happen family wise at the moment. There's just so much going on, and there's only one of me, and I'm trying really hard to prioritise my self-care at the moment. I've neglected that for a couple of years, and so I need to do better on that. I'm trying to prioritise my own health first and foremost, and then if I'm able to make videos. I do love doing it, I really do, but the upload schedule I forced upon myself was just a bit much towards the end of last year, so I hope you understand. And my channel isn't an income for me, it's not monetized, but there's only me that's putting pressure on myself to do a weekly upload. So yeah, Evie says less than one video a week and then we can have more cuddle time. She's a sweetheart. Mono was her baby kitten, so she's been missing her baby too. Okay, that was a long intro. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being very self-indulgent, and I'm not meaning to be a negative nanny. I'm looking forward to making videos again, and thank you all for being here and for helping me hit 3,000 subs. That's just amazing. So let's get started on this very colourful, hopefully, dragonfly. Okay, these are flakes, and they look like glitter when you look at the bottoms of these pots, but they're actually kind of chunky flakes. So I'm not quite sure whether it's going to be better to blend them with a sponge applicator or with a brush. I've got my little tiny cabochon mould here just to do some tests before I go into my dragonfly. But my worry doing it with the sponge applicator is that I don't think it's going to easily get in to all of this. It's very fine detail. So I may just have to do it with a brush and accept that there may well be a bit of overspill in the two sections, or the various sections I should say. Because I want to make this quite colourful. I want to kind of use at least 3 colours just to make something nice and pretty. So I'm going to try all of these actually in this little mould first and just see how they blend. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how these are going to work. They're very much like the chameleon flakes or the opal flakes that I've got from Just For You online. So I've not worked with them before. This is my first time opening the pots. So let's have a look. Oh, that doesn't shout dragon. Oh my god. The intense colour shift, purple to green. Wow. That's immense. I'm going to try with a sponge first, because I think with these the key is to kind of really work it into the silicone. I'm just taking off what's on the lid at the moment and trying to kind of work it in. Kind of hard to buff in with the sponge. That's why I prefer to use a brush, but it does fling everywhere. I've managed to fling it everywhere anyway, to be honest. But okay, the chunks are buffing away, which I'm going to try with this brush because I really don't like using the sponge applicators. There's this one here is fascinating. It's an intense gold, bronzy gold colour shifting into purple. That's a very strange colour shift. Wow. The colour shift on that is intense. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but it goes through so many different shades. That's just gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. That is insane. That has that really intense coppery bronze sort of tone. Interesting. I can't wait to see what these look like with resin on the back. Oh, that's gorgeous. Really pretty. That's such a nice shade of purple. That's a real kind of blue tone purple colour shifting to blue, which is very much something that I'm in favour of. So let me just show you these. You can kind of get a sense for that colour shift. You've seen a main colour there. In this artificial light it's probably difficult to see shifting colour. At this angle they do have a beautiful chrome effect. So I'm going to use this as my reference. I've got the pigments in a line, so when I come to doing this I've got an idea of what colour is going to look like where. So I'm going to put you on time lapse because you don't need to see me do this in real time. I'll be here for a while. Yeah, I think I like the little brush. It gives me control. The flakes are very static and they're flying everywhere, so I'll just have to see how I get on with controlling those. I'm probably not going to use all of the colours, but I might. We'll see how I feel as we're going along. Okay, that is looking bright and chrome-like. That's beautiful. So I'm going to mix up black resin, so I'm just going to quickly measure this and do a rough calculation for how much resin that I'll need. I've left it blending colours into colours around the edges so that it doesn't have like harsh demarcation lines. If there is a bit of cross-contamination between colours, I'm okay with that. I want it to look quite blendy. But they're looking beautiful. These colours are kind of really very, very vibrant, and they do seem to have a slightly different colour shift from anything that I have. So I'm going to be using the Apex High Gloss resin. I have quite a bit of that in stock at the moment, so that's what I'm going to use. It gives you a nice crystal clear finish, but I'm going to be adding Vista black pigment to that anyway. and that pigment does tend to dissolve a lot of the bubbles. I'm going to obviously put my PPE on. If you're new here, never work with epoxy resin unless you've got a respirator and an apron and gloves. Like, PPE is super important to keep your skin and your lungs safe. So I will be putting my PPE on and mixing my resin offline, then I'll be back to pour. Okay, it's been just under 24 hours, so although it's not been the warmest here in the UK this weekend, I'm going to demold this now, then leave it to sit for another, well, at least overnight anyway, before I do anything else with it. I've already lost the daylight, so I will demold this in artificial light, and then I will do some more shots tomorrow to show you what these pigments look like when they're actually in resin. So I had a bit of a play with some of the leftover resin with some of these others, and just experimented with just blobbing the flakes in versus buffing it in, and it gives a very different effect, and I really like both for different reasons. So I'm going to demold these first of all, pop those here. So you can see that it's got this kind of wonderful mirror chrome effect, and the colour shift is amazing. These look absolutely stunning. The colour shift is really good. They've got like mirror finish. There's no sign of the flakes on that one. You do have to buff them in quite well. But yeah, they're really nice. Really nice. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they look like all together in this mould. So hopefully this is demoldable because it's quite thick. I'm worried about the antennae, so what I'm going to do with that is the way that I always demold butterflies and stuff, is to turn it over and peel the mould off with the thing flat on the surface. That way you have less chance of damaging the product inside. So let's lift this off carefully. So it's going to come off the wings okay. Those antennae are going to be a weak spot, especially before the resin's fully cured. Oh god, I've just got a sneak peek. I'm trying not to look underneath the mould so I can see it all in one go, but I've just had a sneak peek and it's looking awesome. Okay, are you ready? Holy moly! Oh my goodness! That is incredible! Look at that! Wow! Oh my god, that's epic! Oh my god, I've got a little bit of cleanup to do on the edges of the antennae, which I'm going to wait until tomorrow just to let those fully cure. I love the shape in the wings, they're deliberately that shape, and the back of the mould
you can see has supported structures, and they're deliberately shaped so that the wings have a bit of a curve. That's epic. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I suspect the colour shift will show up better in daylight than it is doing here. It looks like a kind of oil slick on a dragonfly. In daylight tomorrow, when this has had a chance to fully harden up, I will come back and show you what they look like. But it's really fascinating that it's turned into such a mirror-like chrome effect, when you see the bits on the back here, they look like quite chunky glitter. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I've got tons of really small cabochons here as well, which I'll show you again in daylight, and show you the difference, the subtle difference between just kind of dabbing the flakes in versus buffing it. Here it is in daylight. I'm just holding it so you can get the best angle, but how beautiful. You can see the colour shift. It's wild. It's so gorgeous. I like as well on the edges, you can kind of see what happens when the flakes aren't fully buffed in. You see individual flakes where they've overlapped, and I really like that effect. It's almost like an oil spill. It's just gorgeous. So pretty. And here and there, there's the odd flake, like there. You can see there's a flake that's a slightly different colour. I love it. I just love everything about it. Absolutely beautiful. Back over on my desk, you can see these are the little squares that I made, and the colour shift is more obvious. You can actually see the different colours as I tilt the camera. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with these. The leftover resin I kind of just chucked into the mould. Some of it I blended, some I didn't. So some of these have got that kind of slightly choppy, fragmented appearance, which I love. I just love whether it's buffed in to give you that uniform mirror shine, or whether you've got something more like this. These are tiny. But yeah, that green is so pretty. The other thing I did is another little bag charm with my celestial inlays, and with this one, the first layer of resin was fully cured for weeks, so the pigment doesn't really stick to buff into the resin when it's cured that well. So I just kind of choppily threw the flakes on there, just kind of smushed them in a little bit, and just thought, see what happens, and it looks really nice. So the colour shifting, you need quite a really tight angle to see that, but that's all one colour. I just used one colour on there, so you can see some parts are kind of pink, some are green, but it's just beautiful. I really like that as well. So yeah, these pigments, absolutely amazing. It's just incredible that they just look like coloured glitter in the pot, but they're beautiful. So I think these came from Amazon. If I can find them, I will put a link in my description box. So I hope you enjoyed seeing me make this beautiful dragonfly. I'm going to have so much fun with this mould, and I'm certainly going to have a lot of fun with those pigments. So yeah, fantastic. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Dribbled all over my arm. Thank you. All I wanted on this Friday evening was to have a load of cat dribble running down my arm.